Votes for Unit 1. Last ones. Yay! Okay, so today it's all about cross multiplication. We are going to solve equations using cross multiplication. Okay, so first we need to set up and solve a proportion. Okay, have you guys heard that word before? Proportion?
Yes.
It's basically just two fractions set equal to each other. Okay, so when I was a kid, we just cross multiplied and we just memorized that it worked, but we didn't really understand why it worked. So I want to show you that really quick and then we're going to use it. So it's a special property of equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions are fractions that reduce to the same thing. You all see that 5 is half of 10, right? Okay, so let's try multiplying along this diagonal, 1 times 10, and then see what happens when we do 2 times 5 on the other diagonal. Well, 1 times 10 is 10, and 2 times 5 is
10.
So, if you cross multiply on the diagonals like that for equivalent fractions, we get a true equation. So, if we have an equation with a variable in it, we can cross multiply to find the x or b or y, whatever, that will make it true. Did everyone follow that?
Yeah.
We can find the x or whatever that will make this happen. And that's what we're doing when we're cross multiplying. We're exploiting this property of equivalent fractions. Cool? Okay. So, here is a fun little word problem. I don't know how fun it is. It's about grading tests. This is when it's grades 40 tests in 150 minutes. Whew, that's about how long it takes too. How long will it take her to grade 70 tests? Okay, so when you're setting up your rate, your fraction for each side, you can think about these as like a speed. You guys have all heard of miles per hour, right? So miles can go over the hours, right? And then that's my rate that I'm traveling. That's how fast my position is changing. So I can say I grade 40 tests. I suggest using labels, it helps a lot. And I suggest putting phones away, it helps even more. 150 minutes. So 40 tests in 150 minutes. Now we're going to assume that I'm still grading at the same rate, okay? That has to be equal to, all right, is 70 the tests or the minutes?
Tests.
Yeah. So if it's tests, I'm going to put it on the top across from the 40 tests. So my 70 tests go up here in the numerator. Okay, and then on the bottom, do I know how many minutes? No, that's my unknown, right? Ooh, what did I forget to do on the first step? Did I tell you what x is? So what did I forget? My let statement. So what should we let x be? What don't I know?
The minutes.
Yeah, how long? The question is asking how long, and it's telling you all these minutes, so we want to know how long in minutes. Okay, so let x be minutes. Good. All right. Which one is this? Second one. Okay. Now we can just solve it for the variable. So we can do 40 times x. That is 40x. 150 equals 150 times 70. Okay, somebody help me out. I don't know what that is. I've already forgotten. I've done this twice today and I forgot. What is it?
10,500.
Okay, so 40x equals 10,500. Woo! Okay. I don't want 40 with my x. What's happening between the 40 and the x? Multiplying. So I, undo multiplying by dividing. Use my division property of equality. 40s cancel, and I get x is?
You did it wrong.
I think you might have divided 40 by the 10,500. Yeah, 262.5. 262.5 what? Camels?
Yes.
Minutes! Okay, so now we need a sentence. Mrs. W can grade 70 tests in 262.5 minutes. Jeez Louise. So you thought that you were not excited about this test. Look what I have to do once your part's done. How many hours is that?
A lot.
Yeah, divide it by 60 and that'll tell you how many hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
4.4.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost like 4.5 hours is what it's going to take me. All right. Questions? Okay. All right. Let's try this one. I'm not going to forget this time. We're going to write a let statement. In 12 hours, a bakery produces 300 boxes of donuts. How many boxes, question, can the bakery produce in 2 hours? What does x have to be? Yes, let x equal boxes. Okay, now it's going to be 300 boxes produced every 12 hours. What about the 2? Is the 2 boxes or hours?
Boxes. Wait, hours.
Hours. So where does it go, in the numerator or the denominator? Where do the hours go? You see they're in the bottom.
Yeah.
So I have to put these in the bottom. Okay, and then the x, the boxes that we don't know, that goes on top in the numerator. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Is anyone freaked out that we don't see the right answer up there? Okay, now it's time to talk about another property of rates. Rates are true right side up, and they're also true upside down. So if it takes if we can do 300 boxes in 12 hours, isn't it true that we take 12 hours to do 300 boxes? Okay. Isn't it true that it's going to take 2 hours to do, we don't know how many boxes? So the cool thing about a proportion is that it's true upside down and right side up, or right side up and upside down. Okay. You remember that example with the 1/2 and 5/10? Okay. Isn't 2/1 the same as 10/5? That's it upside down, right? It's still true.
Right.
Okay, perfect. All right, so you said which one? Third one. Okay, let's solve it. Actually, do we need to solve it, or can we move on to the back so you have lots of work time today?
We can move on.
Okay. Everybody's happy if we move on? Okay. 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 So we can use cross multiplying when we're doing word problems. We can also just use it to solve proportions that are just equations. Okay. Do you see that I have two equations?
Yes.
Sorry, two fractions set equal to each other?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to multiply on this diagonal with my 4 times my y. And then I'm going to multiply on this other diagonal. I'm not just multiplying 2 with the y. I'm multiplying 2 with the difference y minus 2. So it has to go in parentheses because I want to times that whole thing by 2. So I'm going to say 2 times the whole thing, y minus 2. I'm going to have to distribute, yes. So 4y is just 4y. 2 times y is 2y. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. I want all my y's on one side. What do? Subtract them away. I have to subtract 2y from this side and then also from this side. That leaves me with 2y equals negative 4. Can you do this in your head? What do you get?
-2.
Yeah. Done. See, these are friendly.
Yes.
Okay. Next one. We have two fractions set equal to each other. So this is a proportion. We can cross multiply to find an x that will make it true when we do our little trick. So we can go this way. Now, I have something like I did right here with the y minus 2. So what do I need to remember to put around the x plus 1? Yeah, parentheses. So 2 times x plus 1 in parentheses equals, same thing here, 3 times x minus 3 in parentheses. So on this one, I'll have to distribute twice. I just want you to have it to look at. We're on the other one now. Do this one. Okay, so distributing, boop, boop, I get 2x plus 2 equals, boop, boop, 3x minus 9. Okay, I need all of my x's on one side. So I'm going to subtract 3x, subtract 3x. These cancel. Now I have negative x plus 2 equals negative 9. Okay, I want to get rid of this 2, so I subtract it away. These cancel, and I get the opposite of x equals negative 11. Do I want the opposite of x, or do I want regular x? Regular x. So if the opposite of x is negative 11, what is x? Yeah, it's 11. Or, I mean, you can like just think that in your head and be like, it should be 11. Or you can just divide by negative 1, right? And you get x is 11. Okay, I don't know that we need to do number 5. Anyone feeling a burning desire to do number 5?
Yes.
Really?
No.
Okay. Fell for it. See, I need a break just as much as you guys. I fell for that. All right, we're going to look at number 6 and compare it, just looking at it. Compare it to 3 and 4. Look at it. Look at how it's set up. Do I have 2 fractions that equal to each other? See how it looks different? All of these problems, just to me, visually, up here, these look like little butterflies. You know, little wings. Okay, this does not look like a butterfly. I'm going to draw a picture on this one, and I want you to see if you can guess what I think this one looks like. This is one of my favorite things to do. Okay, we'll do over one.
Elevator.
I'm a terrible artist, by the way. Thank you.
How'd you get that?
Because look at the horn.
Oh, you did.
Okay, messed up the ear. There's like an ear. Okay, there's like a jaw. Okay, it's I don't know. I'm not an artist, but it's definitely a rhino. Just because I failed to execute the vision does not mean the vision is not there. Does everyone see it's a rhinoceros and not a butterfly?
Barely, but yeah.
Okay, so my point is that this has a different setup and a different feel because it's not 2 fractions that equal to each other where we can use our cross multiplication trick. Okay, does everyone see that this is a yesterday problem?
Yes.
Because it still has a fraction in it and we got to get rid of those denominators. Okay, so say goodbye to the rhino. We can't cross multiply. We have to clear the fractions. What's the first step? We find the biggest denominator, which is 10. So we're going to multiply both sides by the 10. Okay, what is hiding under this 10 that we can't see but we know is there? Yes. Okay. So remember that when we multiply fractions, we have to stay in our lanes. We do numerators with numerators and denominators with denominators. So we do 10 times 3x, 30x. And we go to the bottom, 1 times 2 in the denominator, 2. Bring down the plus. 10 times 5, 50. 1 times 10, 10. Okay, that equals negative 40. Now it just looks like I fed the rhino too much because he just kind of got wider. Do you see that? All right, simplify. 30x divided by 2, 15x. 50 divided by 10, 5 equals negative 40. Now I chopped off his legs. Brutal. Math is brutal. Okay, now what? Yep. Subtract 5. That's be negative 45. So 15x equals negative 45. Now what? Okay, divide by 15. What kind of 3?
Negative.
A negative 3. Here we go. Yeah. It might look kind of like a fish stick. Did you know they put rhinos in fish sticks? That's not true. All right, let's look at the bottom two, and then we'll be done. So, if there's all these crazy symbols in here, and I ask you to solve for W, am I expecting you to get a number, or just do something else?
Get W alone.
Get W alone, yes. I'm not expecting you to come up with a number. I didn't give you enough information to find a number. I just want you to rearrange it so that W is by itself. So, what operation is happening between the 4, the beta, and the W?
Multiplication.
Multiplication. And we undo that with division. So I have to divide by the 4, divide by the beta. Divide by the 4, divide by the beta. These cancel. Now I've got D over 4 beta in the denominator equals W, and I'm done. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. This one is a little bit more involved, but it's still just 2 steps. Okay, I want the Y alone this time. What do I have to do? Subtract the 2 what's? Yes, subtract the 2x. Now, when I subtract it over here, they cancel, but can I combine the 6 and the 2x?
No.
So I'm going to write it kind of off to the side and not stack it. Because if I stack it, I'm going to want to combine it, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to write it off to the side a little bit. And now I'm going to make a mistake. You guys ready to tell me what it is? So I have a 3y equals 6 minus 2x. What did I do? Yes?
We're supposed to put the 2x on the bottom.
Well, I'm just writing them next to each other subtracted. So, okay, it's something else. This is a really common mistake. Do you see it? It's supposed to be a negative. I see a lot of kids drop these negatives and then they get messed up. So make sure you bring down that minus. Okay. So I'm going to be dividing by a -3 when I divide. Okay, that gives me y equals, what is positive 6 divided by -3?
-2.
-2. What about -2 divided by -3? Is that positive?
It's not positive. What did you say?
If I have a negative divided by a negative, I get a
Positive.
positive. And then the question would be, does 2/3 reduce? No, it doesn't have any common factors other than 1. So I just write it as 2/3 in front of my x. And that's done. Okay, let's go. That's it. Work time. Unless anyone really wants to see what number. Okay. By popular and unpopular demand, here's number 5 that we skipped. You can do homework.
No.
Yeah. For me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Can